My name is Nathan Smith, and I work for Show Me Christian Youth Home, and I run our Leadership U program here in Lamont, Missouri. We have a program here that's been now for about 6 years, and we have about 50 kids that are in our program here. Many of our kids live here on campus. Most of our kids live here with us. We run, it's basically an alternative to foster care. For whatever reason, they can't live with their mom and dad, and so they need a place to live. And this is a residential facility where kids come and live, and many of them will graduate from here, and they'll be here with us for years. And so we have an opportunity over a long period of time, often with many of our kids, to really hone their skills, and we put them on these horses to do that. You know, a lot of our kids come from pretty traumatic backgrounds. They have experienced neglect, they have experienced abuse, they have experienced being left behind and feeling unwanted. They've experienced anger and they've experienced frustration and all of these things. You know, when our kids and the kids get around the horses, it's just an opportunity for them to pass on something good to another being, in this case a horse. Of course, the kids always love spending time with their horse. You know, I found that you know, being able to reward their horse and petting their horse, and when we deal with obstacles, and you know, our kids you know, do a lot with obstacles where they're having to cross tilting bridges or very narrow bridges, or you know, things that are not your average obstacles, and the horses don't want to do them. And so these kids get to we try to talk to them about how do you make this obstacle seem like the place that horse wants to be, and creating a positive place for that horse, and helping our kids realize that they need to stay facing forward. That's a really important concept with kids that have trauma in their backgrounds, difficulties in the past, things that could get them stuck, where they could think, you know, this has happened to me in my past and I'll never be any different. And it's really important when we work with horses that we're looking forward. Whether you're leading a horse or riding a horse, that you're not worried about what's behind you, because there's nothing back there for you. And I remind the kids all the time, there's nothing behind you. Everything is ahead of you, and that you don't have to be stuck where you were, and you don't have to be just like your parents were, or just like whoever that you knew or that you lived with. So we have 4 core principles that we try to build our program on, so that our kids are getting a structured means of how they're improving their leadership skills. So our first principle is service. And anybody that's been around horses very long knows that there's a lot of service that goes in, a lot of work that has to be done, a lot of needs that need to be taken care of. Then we want to use knowledge. And most of our kids come to us and don't have any previous experience with horses. So we start infusing that knowledge into them. Things that how to lead a horse, how to put a halter on the horse, how to tie their horse up safely, how to avoid getting stepped on. Now, all these things that are very, very important when you're around horses, that we're going to start pouring this knowledge into them to make them a qualified leader for their horse. Then it's really about building their confidence, and that's our third principle. If you can know a lot of things, you can have a lot of knowledge, but if you don't have the confidence to put that into practice, then it doesn't work out very good. Head knowledge that is then acted out with a lack of confidence or timidity doesn't work out. And lastly, we'd love for them to have wisdom. And we try to train these kids that when they get out into the real world, that we have given them a place and a process where they can learn these kind of leadership skills. So I think that all these things give opportunities for our kids to heal and realize that they don't have to be stuck. They don't have to give in to the things that are easy, and they don't have to just feel like they're just a victim of their circumstances or situations, that they can actually make a difference and that they can change things for themselves.